Hey everybody, Dr. Dan here, and I just thought it would be a good idea, since this is sort of our first writing assignment, to get you up to speed on this quiz we're going to take for week 3, because this quiz is a little different. It's not a multiple choice, it's an essay or a short answer quiz, but you really only need to write 2 sentences. But the reason I want to spend some time with you is, the best way to pass this exercise is to follow the rubric, and let me go through that with you right now. And you may or may not be able to see this on the video, but you can make this video full screen, but it really doesn't matter. What I want you to do in week 3, and I'll open this quiz up early, go and read the instructions, and take a day or two, and you can come up with the answer outside of the quiz. In other words, the instructions show you what the question is. And also the rubrics are there. The rubric is there in the instructions as well. So all you need to do is compose a short answer that addresses this idea of superiority, insensitivities, or discrimination that we read about in chapter 2 of our test. So you just go ahead and see what I wrote. So I gave you an example of a really good answer that I wrote, and I highlighted it. Don't copy my answer, but you can look at my sentence structure or the way I did it, and as long as you don't use the same words and copy it word for word, use it as a model. Plug your own words in there. Now, you notice that my sample answer I'm giving you is 2 sentences, and I also want you to notice the citations that I'm using, these inline citations where it says Norton 2.3b and 2.2d. That's really not any typical like APA citation format, but because we're using MindTap and there's not always page numbers, just reference the section where you got your information. So for example, in this answer, this sentence, I say, the roots of these traditions can be seen in how European colonists treated Native Americans and in socially constructed identities of European superiority reflected in the philosophies of the divine right of kings. Those 2 citations that I have there, Norton 2.3b and 2.2d. 2.3b is the section where it talks about how the colonists treated the Algonquin Indians, and it certainly wasn't on a level playing field or equality basis. So I'm referencing that simple thing there. And then the divine right of kings was in the Stuart monarch section. And can I bring this over? I think I can. Yeah, so here we go. Divine right of kings was relevant to my answer. So, I found it here, and I'm like, look, it's section 2.2d in MindTap. So if we go back to my quiz, you see I have 2.2d cited because I talk about the divine rights of kings in my answer. So this is really easy. There's no time limit. You have days and days to work it out. And if you're really struggling, you have no idea what to do, then just contact me and I'll work with you and we'll get through it. But this is a really good exercise. The other thing I want to bring to your attention quickly, you can grade your own paper before you turn it in if you want. I mean, metaphorically, because you can read your paper, you can read the rubric, and you can say, all right, did I do everything I needed to do to get 50 points on this quiz? So all you have to do is read every box and say, okay, for example, source acknowledgement on the bottom right-hand side below me. It says in-text citations and references for all quoted, paraphrased, and summarized content are present. Well, again, if you look at my example, and let me just move myself over. If you look at my example up there, you see that I have Norton 2.3b and 2.2d. So I have in-text citations. I'm getting 100% on this source acknowledgement section in the rubric. Same with articulation of response, all right? There are no grammatical errors in my sentences because I checked them for spelling. I made sure everything was capitalized. So perfect there, no problem. If you read yours and you're like, ooh, you know what, I think European should be capitalized, or I think there needs to be a comma here, or, I need to write complete sentences, then, pay attention to articulation, because that's a shame. If you get anything off for grammar or spelling, it's an absolute shame, because there's so many free tools out there. Like if you've ever used Grammarly before, just go to Grammarly.com. And there's 2 options. There's a paid account and a free account. This is my paid account, so it's got all this stuff in it. But you can get a free account, and all you have to do is, if I can get rid of that, all you have to do once you get your Grammarly account is just click on any one of these boxes and just paste your text in here. And it'll tell you what's wrong. It'll say, hey, this needs to be capitalized, this is misspelled. So there's no reason for you to have any grammatical errors in a 2-sentence work whatsoever. And if you have one, I don't care how small it is, I'm going to count it off because there's just no excuse for that. So don't worry about that part. And then the composition piece is very important. So here's what you have to do. The student provides a logical explanation with appropriate detail and 2 examples from our text. That means you need to cite 2 examples. In my sample answer, I did the attitudes about Native Americans, and I also did the divine right of kings. So I'm cool. But if you don't have 2 in there, you're going to fail because that aspect is 30 points of a 50-point quiz. And if you don't have that, you're done. So again, grade yourself before you turn it in. Use Grammarly. Follow the directions. You'll have no trouble with it. Have a great day. See ya. Bye.